Hey everyone, John Doyle from OptixEQ, and the video race of the day today is going to come from Indianapolis. It's been a while. We've been doing a lot of work on the Triple Crown, and hopefully you like the videos with me and Emily discussing the Triple Crown races. But today's video is more kind of educational. That's what I trying to get back into here a little bit on people that are new to the product and want to learn how to use it. I would say this is a little bit more advanced topic that I'm going to cover today. It's called pace segmentation. And essentially what I'm going to do is look at the plot and segment the plot by early, late, and closers, right? Early pace horses, mid pace horses, and then closers. And just evaluate it that way. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to start with race 2. We got a nice green, plot fit, contention is high, the speed rating is below average for the second race in Indianapolis. This is Wednesday on June the 15th. So I'm going to do little John Madden here and take a look at the early part of the race and just kind of, those are horses to the leftmost, okay? So it's 3, 4, and 5. And if you look at the run styles of the 3, 4, and 5, they're early pace horses. The E, meaning the 4, is need to lead. What does that mean? That means that horse, if he's not in front, he can't win. Now, it doesn't look like he'll have an easy go of it, right? Just based on the plot, because again, we're looking for horses in early lead to be the leftmost. He's really right on top of the 3 on standard plot and the 3 and 5 on surface and distance plot. So he really doesn't have an edge. Now he has a little bit of an edge to the second call, right? Because he's above those horses, but not really, not a big one. And the circle really negates maybe anything he might get away if he gets past those 2 horses. He may not have enough in the tank to finish the job. So kind of negative on him. If you look at the 5, don't like where he plots on standard, well below those horses. So there could be a potential that he's in a chase mode, and that could wear him out, chasing a horse that needs the lead. And then the 3, if you look at him, I'm just going to hover over the table here. If you go to the right, the table, and you hover over the run style, you could see what that tells you is in races that this horse has run well. He's only run really one good race, and that was a suppressor, and he was 1 length behind. So he's got to be up close to be effective. So I'm not seeing him like being the stalker type. He's going to have to be right in there, and I think that might soften him up. So from an early pace perspective, I'm against the early pace horses. I just don't see which one is going to dominate. And in looking at the odds of all 3, none of them really jump out from a value standpoint, 3, 4, and 5 to 1. Okay, now that may change. Always keep that in mind. 2 things you always want to keep in mind. 1, look at this plot, after scratches, because it could change dramatically what I've told you here. And then secondly, obviously the price and then the form and all those rest of the things. But just from a pure pace dynamic standpoint, I'm going to lean against early pace in this race and start looking for horses maybe kind of that be just off the pace and maybe deeper closers, okay? So let's go, let me clear this out. And let's go to those middle type horses. I'm gonna start with the 6, I guess it's gonna be the, let's get my drawing going here. So that would be the 6, the 1, and the 7, kind of the horses that will be off the pace and get the first run on the deeper, looks like just the 2 is plotting as a deeper closer. Okay, so when I look at this, to me, the 6 has an advantage, right? Because he's probably going to get first run. 7 is at an extreme disadvantage, so I'm eliminating the 7. I would not eliminate the 1, and we already talked about the 5 really being part of the early pace and being vulnerable there. So for me, the middle pace horses or stalkers or whatever you want to call them, the ones that are the first run off the pace horses are going to be 1 and 6. I would evaluate those horses in terms of form. The 1 is 10 to 1, the 6 is 4 to 5. They both have enough value for me to take the next step and look at them. Okay, so those are the ones that I look at. And the 2 being a deeper closer, he's a presser closer, but he can do it either way. And again, let's go to the chart here. Let's look at Danging. Does he really actually? I'm going to hover over his run style. Okay. Yeah, and so you can see this horse could come, he's run 2 really good races as a closer, 3 as a presser. That's what that P3, C2, The 84 is the speed figure he's able to run the highest, and the 8 is 8 lengths back. That means he's been able to do this from at least 8 lengths back. So he's the other contender from me. So I'm looking at the 126. I would take it to the next level. And like I said, do your homework, do your handicapping, your class speed, and all the rest. But from a pure pace dynamics, the way I segment this race is I'm looking for mid to deep off the pace in this scenario, just based on the way the plot plots and the horses in the plots. Okay. All right. So that's that race. I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to look at race 5, which is a little bit different, but not much. This is another race. This race is a yellow plot fit. It's got average contention and speed ratings off the charts at 70. So this is going to be a fast pace. And now in this race, the run styles are not as well established because these horses are maidens. So they either haven't run much or they haven't won. So keep that in mind, with a grain of salt. But the first thing that I just looking at evaluating the early pace here is that we have, looks like a log jam up front. You got these circles, they're on top of each other, right? So that means they're vying for the lead early in the middle stages and they're falling off the end. The 9's the square in that. So maybe he's the speed of the speed. I don't know. He doesn't plot as well in surface and distance. So take a look at that. But again, a race where I want to probably stay away from the early pace horses. They look like they're going to knock each other out. Again, look at the form and so forth. So the next segment I want to evaluate is the horses that are kind of first run off bat, and that would be the 4-7. You can see the 3s below, the 1s below. So the 4 and the 7, the contenders here. Now there are no great stakes at 2-1 and 7-2. They're probably the 2 choices in the race. So no great, assessment there. But the 2 things you want to look at is first, you want to some way evaluate the 2 too. That's the first time start in this race. But the horse to me that looks like a value in your exotics would be the number 8, Mrs. K. Now she's only won the run race. She was slow out of the gate, but her figure wasn't too bad. You can see it was a 65. She needs to improve, but horses typically do improve the second time. And look at that square. She's the biggest square. She has some late pace. So at 30-1 in the morning line, that's a horse I'm looking for to kind of try to get up underneath in the exotics. And who knows? Crazier things have happened. She's only run the one race. I wouldn't ignore her even as a small win bet. So for me, again, take a look at the horses in the early pace. Maybe one of them could stick around or the first time starter, not sure. But from a win end, I'm against them. 4 and 7 look like they're going to get the most likely winner in that segment. And then the 8 is my long shot evaluating the pace segment for race 5 in Indianapolis. Hopefully you like this topic. If there's more topics you want to cover or there's specific questions you have, let me know via email. Go to our website contact form. I'm John Doyle from OptixEQ. Thanks for listening.